Austin Anarchy. Austin Anarchy going to be skating in black.
All right, everybody. Welcome to the 2019 MRDA Championships here in beautiful and snowy Denver, Colorado. I'm Champ Unkind.
I'm Mark Bradford, also known as Brad Example.
And we have a rematch from the North American qualifier, Austin and Denver. This is going to be a very interesting matchup. It's the 8 and 9 seed, so it's two teams that have played each other. They're two closest in the rankings here, but I think we're going to have a little bit of a different matchup. There's some different factors here. Denver, obviously, being at home, that helps. And also having a guy named Justin Stelly on your team can make a little bit of an impact in a game. So we might be seeing a much different game here than what we saw at MAQ when the number 5 seed Austin beat the number 1 seed Denver.
And we actually have both Stellys. So
yes.
Jordan Stelly will be skating wearing number 4. Justin Stelly, number 72, Raging Cajun.
If you want to introduce everybody else on Denver.
Sure, Denver, skating for Denver in this game. Number 1-1, Cruz. Number 1-3, Spicy. Number 1-4, Kyle Hansen. Number 1-8, Troy Ferguson. Number 1984 is Crunchy, a.k.a. Williams. Number 20, Drunken Giraffe. Number 207, Judgment Day. Number 22, Smedium. Number 257 is Schneider. Number 31, Dirt Monkey. Number 36, Lenzo. Number 4, Minu, also known as Jordan Stelly.
Baby Stelly.
And number 40 is Broderick. Number 43, Chris with a K. Number 45, Panty-Depressant, also known as Dakota. And number 72 is the aforementioned Raging Cajun, Justin Stelly. Number 77 is Cotton. Number 8 is Hunter. Number 89 is Alchemist Prime. And number 98 is Sparrow.
And from the Austin Anarchy, number 03, Party McFly. Number 132, Ezra Pound. Number 1337, Joliet Jane. Number 22, Hobo. Number 3, Wombo Combo. Number 303, Il Nino. Number 3077, Spank. Number 35, Sharknado. Number 51, Naked Alien. Number 6000, Whipstitch. Number 65, T-Rex. Number 8, Doc. Number 818, Vicious. Number 88, Danny B. And number 99, Sparks. Looks like we're going to be getting started here in just a moment. We've got Sparrow going up against, that would be number 35, Sharknado.
Time derby is 5 seconds, and we just heard the 5-second call from the jam timer.
It's usually very convenient like that. And here we go. The 2019 MRDA World Championships are underway. Sharknado pushing his way at the front of the pack, trying to get the first lead, and first lead goes to Austin.
Sparrow pushing to try and get through in turn 1 now, steps over his fallen opponent and is clear to score as well.
And so now both teams able to pick up points. Sharknado coming through, tapping his hips, calls it off. That is 4 points. Austin on the board first with the first 30 seconds of the tournament off the clock.
Sparrow almost made it into the pack for points, but the fourth whistle was just a little bit too quick.
Yep, sometimes you just get that perfect timing. And now we got number 18, Ferguson, going up against number 303, Il Nino. Sharknado, who we just saw jamming, was the MVP jammer of the North American qualifier, so he is going to be a factor in this game.
We'll be seeing Ferguson jam quite a bit as well. I frequently see him jamming at practices.
He's been playing a few years, but he is a fun skater to watch. He's one of those guys that just moves his whole body all over the place, and he's very smart too. As you can see, they're going back to the back of the track. Oh, never mind. That is a track cut. We have our first power jam of the game with Ferguson taking a seat along with one of the Denver blockers.
That's Broderick.
That is Broderick, who's done some stuff for this tournament.
Yes, he's one of the big organizers. It's always entertaining, but also difficult to be playing in a tournament you're hosting.
I cannot imagine doing that kind of double duty. And now it looks like, they're going to have a full box for Denver, and Alchemist Prime can't even get in there because there's too many. One blocker in there, another 4 on the board for Austin.
However, it's good work by Denver keeping them to getting only 4 points on that jam when it was a power jam and losing so many blockers.
Absolutely. But now Austin going to start with a real big advantage here as Denver has 4 players in the penalty box area. Ferguson is standing. Wombo Combo will have the star for Austin.
Both Ferguson and Broderick are standing ready to re-enter. Only Cotton is a defender, but he's able to bump Wombo Combo into the outfield and prevent him from getting lead.
It means he's a good blocker. And the Wombo Combo does get past Cotton, picks up lead jammer. 2 of the Denver players are back out there, including Ferguson, who completes his initial pass.
Wombo Combo into the pack for points, gets through, calls it. It's going to be 4 and out. 3 consecutive 4 and out jams for Austin. That takes us down to about 27 minutes to go in our first period of play.
Score is 12-0. Denver still looking for their first points. Wombo Combo is such a fun player to watch because he's one of the shorter jammers, and he gets so low that he can just become almost invisible. Speaking of things that are not invisible, though, that you have to pay attention to, it is Stelly, the Raging Cajun himself, on the jam line going up against Sharknado. This is going to be a good matchup. This is a matchup I've really wanted to see between these two jammers. And it is Sharknado through lead jammer, but there is Stelly, the Raging Cajun, about, an eighth of a track length behind him or so.
And closing.
Yeah, and when you see Stelly closing in on you, Sharknado made a very wise choice to call that off.
Did grab 2 points on the jam, however.
Absolutely. Yeah, when he's right near that apex, you know what he's capable of. I'm sure Austin knows exactly. A very smart move there. So it's going to be El Nino.
Interesting that 303 is El Nino's number. 303, of course, famously the area code for Denver.
Ah, there you go. And yet he's playing for Austin. It is Sparrow with the star for Denver. I believe this is Sparrow's first jam.
No, his
second jam, excuse me.
He was in the first jam of the game.
You're better with numbers. I just see signs and stuff.
Well, it's always good to see Sparrow. He used to live here in Denver, but wound up moving away. However, he does still skate with Denver.
Well, that's always good. Sometimes you just find a team you really like, and it doesn't matter where you are, you find a way to still skate with them. Mm-hmm. And that takes some commitment. So a little bit of a pile-up there, a jammer pile-up. And yeah, it's going to be a penalty on Sparrow, so a power jam.
Illegal contact.
Yeah, illegal contact. Thank you, on Sparrow. So power jam now for El Nino.
Who is lead jammer. That makes 5 in a row for Austin.
5 out of 5. Nobody bats 1,000, but they're doing pretty good so far.
Well, I get the feeling that Austin's going to have to, or Denver's going to need to break that streak if they want to put points on the board.
Yeah, and you think with Denver, I think just being at this altitude, something that Denver's a little more accustomed to, I think that's something we're going to see really come into play in the second half.
No doubt, no doubt.
The endurance factor. 4 points on the board, another 4 for Austin. Sparrow standing in the penalty box, so less than 10 seconds remaining on the power jam.
And we're down to about 25 minutes in our first period of play.
Mm-hmm. We have our wonderful producer, Sonia Blade, as well as our stream producer, Leslie Nope.
From 5 on 5 Media, your hosts for this stream.
Yeah, it's her side job from the Pawnee Parks and Rec Department.
She's been doing this 4 weekends in a row.
Yes. Thank you for your dedication. Thank you all for tuning in to make it worth it for us to do this. Spend all of our money to get here. I know Brad spent a lot to get here.
Well, it does help being local. But I did have to get up at an ungodly hour this morning.
There you go. And you set everything up last night. We appreciate it. Okay, so Sparrow out of the box. Wombo Combo jamming for Austin.
Still no lead.
Still no lead, yes. Great job, great defense here. About 25 seconds into the jam. Good move there by Ninu. Ninu to get back there to do some one-on-one blocking against Wombo Combo, but he's going to be able to pass.
Trying the outside line now.
Yeah, Sparrow also getting pushed out.
Rivera now anchoring the defense at the top of the pack.
I've known Hector Rivera since he started playing roller derby when he used to skate for my home team, the Cleveland Guardians. And
nice.
I mean, he used to be a pure jammer, and seeing how far he's come along as a blocker is really something cool to watch.
So nearly a full minute into the jam, lead jammer is awarded to Wombo Combo.
Yeah, Wombo Combo does now have an opportunity to keep Denver scoreless. It's all about that control. But Sparrow flying away from the pack.
Sparrow looking a little worn there, not quite at full speed heading towards the pack, but it's called off with no points for anybody.
Well, can you blame him? I mean, you go through that pack. That could not have been easy. That did not look easy.
And like we said, it took a full minute for there to be a lead.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hector Rivera, not only a nice guy and a good skater, but also very handy to have around the league because he's good at welding things.
Yes, he is, yes.
Back to the line, number 35, that's Sharknado for Austin, taking on Justin Stelly. However, an official timeout will stop the clock at 22 minutes and 59 seconds.
Yes. So, we will tell you about some of our sponsors shortly when we get that information in the second half.
Yeah.
But for now, don't forget we have so many games today coming up next. It is the Comic Quads making their North American debut, I believe. on this continent.
And who are they taking on?
That would be Golden State,
Ah.
one of my favorite teams to watch, a team that's kind of new on the scene this year after rebranding themselves. And I'll tell you, I got to see them at April Lanks this year. They're fun to watch.
Excellent.
So, like you said before, it is Stelly and Sharknado. Both Jammers still in the pack. Stelly moving, and Denver has their first lead. Jammer on the 7th jam of the game.
Yeah, they've definitely been hungering for that. It'll be interesting to see if they choose to go long and get many points. Certainly no sign of Stelly calling it off there after grabbing his first 4.
No, and didn't look like he was going to slow down, but does Stelly ever look like he's going to slow down? I mean, I think that's his job not to.
Star pass to Naked Alien by Austin, and that's going to inspire Stelly to call it off after grabbing one more point, 5 on the jam and 5 on the board.
Absolutely, and 18-5, score still very close and a lot of time left. So again, this is a rematch. These teams know each other, and I mean, we saw this last year with the opening of the MRDA championships with Philly and Magic City, where Magic City got up a lot first, then Philly caught up, and Magic City ended up winning, but Philly, I believe it was like a 3-point game.
Wow.
So I think this is all, we're going to have a very similar situation here to start off this year.
And we've seen a lot of close derby here in Denver in the past few weeks. This is my 4th consecutive tournament weekend. So
yes, Denver is kind of like Derby Central this year.
Not that I'm ejecting.
Yeah, it's a little bit cheaper for you, a little bit easier.
So this is Dakota Golightly, a.k.a. Panty Depressant, taking the start for the first time in this game for Denver, number 45, and grabbing their second lead call.
Going up against Il Nino of Austin. Il Nino star in hand, looking to pass.
What a clean 4-point pass for Golightly.
That is 10 unanswered now. 9, excuse me.
Yes.
Wait a minute. Do we bring back the jammer lap point? 9 unanswered points by Denver. Star pass complete to Sparks. And we'll see what Golightly decides to do here.
He does call it off.
Not lightly.
But those 8 points are enough to narrow the gap to 5.
Absolutely. And now we're starting to see the momentum kind of change here, and it looks like Austin is going to take our next timeout. So that'll give us time to tell you about Skate Rats. Dreaming of new roller skates? Skate Rats is your skate shop with over 10 years of expert experience and knowledge of building roller skates and fitting safety gear. Skate Rats will set you up with the gear that is right for you. Visit Skate Rats, beautiful retail store in Loveland, Colorado, for great service and the selection that you have been looking for. Log on to Skate Rats. That's SK8RATZ.com for fast free shipping.
Yeah, Loveland is just north of where I live in Longmont, Colorado.
Yes.
Also the hometown of our stream producer, Leslie Nope.
I thought it was Pawnee. You're messing with me now.
So about 10 seconds remaining on the team timeout called by Austin. Stopped clock, 20 minutes and 54 seconds.
Yes. Officials talking about stuff that officials talk about during timeouts.
I mean, a really strong opener by Austin there with those 6 consecutive leads,
Yeah.
but now 2 in a row for Denver, so maybe Austin just wants to interrupt that momentum.
Exactly, and like we talked about, with the air here is a little bit thinner, so, maybe they want to, give their players a chance to breathe, have some water.
Not a bad idea. You must hydrate when you're up here.
Yeah, I mean, you explained to me, because we were talking about it.
Yes.
You run a mile, it feels like you ran 2. So
taking the star for Austin, this number 51, Naked Alien, first time starting on the jam line, although he took a star pass earlier.
Yeah, he used to start off as the jammer a lot more this season, been blocking a little bit more. So fun to see him out there starting off as the jammer for this jam. Penalty box is currently empty, and 4 points on the board for Austin. I believe the first in 2 jams.
Yes. Ezra Pound there dragging Ferguson back a ways as he attempted to get through on his initial.
Yeah, and Ferguson does have a star in his hand. So he is stealth mode, but fortunately you are listening on the stream and we can tell you that. Naked Alien through another 4 points.
So that right there, taking care of erasing the gain that Denver made in the previous jam. Star pass now to Judgment Day, number 207 for Denver.
Smart move. Going to call it off. No points picked up there on that last pass. So we'll stay at 8-0 on the jam, 26-13. on the scoreboard. Under 20 minutes remaining in the first half of the first game of the first day of MRDA Champs in the 2019 year.
That's a lot of ups.
I know.
I got to channel either Bobby Narco and or Rev Norbin point out we have an exact 2-to-1 ratio of the score.
There you go.
26-13.
I couldn't math that.
Stelly back to the line for Denver against number 303 El Nino for Austin.
Yeah, so Stelly had a great move there on the inside to get past those blockers. Basically became like paper thin. Now approaching the pack, looking, there is one blocker past Sparks over the apex, and 4 points. Denver with T-Rex heading to the box.
On the inside line, a burst of speed will take El Nino through and clear to score. Stelly already on his second scoring pass through, calls it. That's going to be 8 on the jam.
Yeah, had to go past Party McFly and Sparks there with some help from, I believe that was Doc. Yeah, that was Doc. Just moving on through. Got another 4. So that neutralizes the last jam.
Exactly, and keeping it real close here. 5 points is nothing in this game, especially with so much time left in the game.
Absolutely.
Go Lightly, number 45, back to the line for Denver, taking on number 3, Wombo Combo.
Absolutely, Wombo Combo. Looking ready.
18.5 on the first period clock.
T-Rex, the lone blocker for Austin in the penalty box. Denver, so that leaves Denver with the 4-3 pack advantage. Wombo Combo at the front of the pack going against, I see Cotton up there, pushing him out. That was number 207, Judgment Day. But Wombo Combo able to sweep to the outside and get lead jammer.
Yeah, Go Lightly was able to grab lead on his first jam, not this time.
No. And we have 2 of the shorter jammers here, and as a 5'6" person myself, I love that.
Well, I've noticed that both on... So there's 4 points picked up. I've noticed that on both Denver's men's and women's teams, that we don't go for the huge size.
No. I'm from Ohio, where we've noticed, like, especially on the WFTDA side, like, we have some tiny jammers. We have some tiny players in general. I don't know what they're feeding them in the rest of the country, but we seem to be smaller in Ohio.
8 points grabbed by Wombo Combo. Calls it off. We're going back and forth with 8-point jams here. 34-21. Still a little bit more than half of the period remains.
Yeah, so 8.
Yeah, it's...
The second I predict 8, it's going to be like 9.
Well, of course.
Or 7. Couldn't get that last one.
Stelly back to the line.
Going up against Sharknado. This is Sharknado number 35. The Sci-Fi Channel's budget must be great. Stelly moved to the inside, tiptoes, and on through lead jammer Denver.
So now we've gone back and forth with lead calls for the last 5 jams.
Yeah, so since that initial kind of storming out of the gates of Austin, Denver keeping it close with us back and forth. This is the kind of game you like to see. Now 2 Austin blockers in the penalty box, so advantage Stelly and Denver. Stelly moved to the outside, unable to stay in bounds. Good work there by Sparks and Party McFly.
Just on the cusp of turn 3 there. Taking another run at it, getting through the pack and clear to score is Sharknado, and yet again an 8-point jam.
Yeah, so 8-0 again. Sharknado did have star in hand, but Stelly saw it and called it off.
It seems like the packs are able to contain the opposing jammers for the first scoring pass, but no longer.
Yeah, pretty much.
Little handshake there between Ferguson and El Nino on the jammer line.
Well, this is. I know both teams have really been looking forward to playing each other. Denver, I hate to use the word revenge, but they want not like a mean revenge, but like you beat us when we were the number 1 seed. Okay, we want to beat you now on our home ground.
Yeah.
At the tournament we are hosting, with a little bit of a different makeup of the team. Ferguson able to stay up, well, not able to stay up, but able to stay in bounds. And gets through lead jammer Denver. So let's see if maybe the momentum now changes here with Denver having 2 leads in a row.
Yeah, this is the second time they've managed 2 in a row, but it's the first time for Ferguson.
Star pass to Naked Alien, and let's see if Ferguson decides to call it off, getting past the Austin blockers.
That's an odd time to choose to call it off.
Yeah, because Naked Alien able to pick up 4 for Austin, and it's a 4-4 jam. So pretty much a neutral jam there. An opportunity maybe a little wasted there for Denver.
Yeah.
Ferguson calling it off just a second or two too late.
You got to be careful about that because you can score points up until that fourth whistle blows.
The second those hips are passed, those points are going on the board.
Taking the start for the first time in this game is T-Rex, number 65. Ooh, a timeout of which sort?
Yeah, so but it is a full block or penalty box, 2 in the box for both teams.
Official timeout stopping the clock. Yes. 14 minutes and 48 seconds.
So we'll be at 2-2, and I'll go ahead and tell you about another one of our sponsors. That would be Strong Athletic. Strong Athletic is a Derby-owned and run business started by Smarty Pants in 2014 as a way to amplify the voices of skaters in roller derby. Ever wonder who makes the Strong Athletic skater shirts? It's Strong Athletic. We have shirts and hats for skaters, announcers, officials, coaches, and photographers. Find us online at strongathletic.com.
And Blackjack is here in town with Strong Athletic.
Yes.
Both last weekend at B-Champs and here today.
Yeah, so if you are in the Denver area, maybe just not here today, we look forward to seeing you, and you can always get some great stuff. So back to the action. Stelly over the apex. I believe the light air helps him.
Oh my, that's a surge of speed from T-Rex getting through the pack as well.
I've seen Jurassic Park, and they will attack their prey.
Stelly calls it, and in enough time to prevent T-Rex from grabbing points, only 3 for Denver.
Yeah, that was Rivera with a good block, turning his back to the jammer, not allowing him to get past the hips. So good, effective move there by Rivera for Denver.
So that takes it to a 2-point game. 14 minutes remaining in our first period.
And there are only, again, still 2 blockers out there. 1 blocker for Denver, with 1 standing in the box and 2 sitting. 2 blockers for Austin.
Spicy poised to re-enter and does so for Denver, but not in time to prevent El Nino from grabbing lead.
Yeah, El Nino
and Sparrow.
Yes. Now approaching the pack and those 2 blockers that are out there. And good block there by El Nino, the other Stelly.
Yes.
But El Nino out of bounds and will get 4 points for Austin. Sparrow completing his initial pass.
So we might wind up with another 8-point jam here, depending on how far into the pack. Nope, not far enough, but that'll be good enough for 2 points, I believe.
Yeah, well, he saw Cotton standing there and was like, I'm going to need an extra second. I'm just going to call it off. But he does get 2 more.
I think I heard a timeout has been called, a team timeout. This time, I'm going to guess by Denver, yes.
Yes. Right you are. Thanks, Kent.
It's been a little while since I've seen Kent the politician.
Yeah, he's doing politician stuff.
Yeah, it's his thing.
My former co-announcer and mentor.
Yeah.
All right, don't forget about Left Turn Clothing. Athletic apparel for bodies, not genders. Visit lefttturnclothing.com. So again,
we got 1 blocker in the box to start this jam for Denver, which is a lot better than 3 like the previous jam.
And, I mean, even Austin had 2 the last 2 jams. So now an opportunity to see some good blocking.
So Stelly coming back to the line for Denver, and that he's been doing every other jam for the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 jams.
But it is Wombo Combo who looks like he will be jamming for Austin. Unless somebody switched jerseys.
Everybody goes quiet.
Shh, not roller derby.
Be very, very quiet. I'm hunting jammas.
This is very serious. We need all quiet.
Serious business.
Roller derby is very serious.
Up the inside line. Stelly grabbing lead.
That's what he's done. I think every time he's got lead, just hit that inside line right before the turn. He's able to get so thin, and he's just so quick. Let's see now on turn 1 into turn 2. Alchemist Prime trying to open the door, and he does. 4 points, Denver. As his brother gets out of the box.
Yes. Spin move on the inside. So Rivera called for a forearm, and regardless, Wombo Combo would have been able to come in because Rivera had gone out of bounds.
Yeah, no pass, no penalty there. But, when you're not lead jammer, it doesn't really have that big of an impact unless you're on a scoring pass. Another 1 point for Denver, and now we have our closest score, a 3-point game with a ton of time left, 12 and a half in the first half. And again, don't forget, after this, it's Golden State and the Comiquads, the winner of our European qualifier.
I think I've seen Golden State before, but I don't think I've seen the Comiquads.
So Golden State rebranded this year. They used to be Drive-By City. They're from Los Angeles now. They're Golden State. They're more because they wanted to include more of California, that whole area.
Sounds good.
So I got to see them at April Lengths. They're a really fun team and a really nice people as well. There is Ferguson. He is lead jammer for Denver. One pass, and we could change the score. Excuse me, it's a 2-point game.
Oh, yeah, correction on the scoreboard.
And Naked Alien will be heading to the penalty box. That is a 30-second loss for Austin. And 3 points. But that doesn't matter. We got a lead change, and for the first time, Denver takes the lead of this game.
Who had the star for Austin in that last jam?
I believe that was...
It was number 35, which is Sharknado. Thank you, Sonia. So,
Denver now with a 1-point lead. Let's see if they can keep that momentum. It is Stelly again, every other jam.
Yep.
Going up against El Nino.
El Nino has been working hard as well. This is his 7th turn with a star by my count. And lead jammer.
Yes, El Nino. With Stelly right behind, and he doesn't hear his team just saying, call it, call it, call it.
Maybe he hears them and doesn't care, but at this point he does. Calls it off. None points.
Yeah, I wouldn't... You don't want to play with Stelly like that. He is definitely in the conversation for best jammer of MRDA. He's in the conversation.
I mean, as people are probably aware, he is a world-class speed skater.
Absolutely. I mean, just all-around athlete in
Yes.
general. I mean, the guy is terrific, and he's so much fun to watch. But when you're jamming against him, you need to be very careful with his track position because he can catch up with you in a split second.
It's going to be go lightly with the star for Denver and Wombo Combo for Austin.
I believe that was our first scoreless jam.
Second, I believe.
Second scoreless. You're the one with the numbers. I say the wrong things. You correct me. And Sonya Blade gives a thumbs up when I'm wrong. It is Wombo Combo lead jammer now for Austin, looking to take back that lead on a scoring pass. Go lightly, takes off the star. We'll look to pass or just go stealth mode. Lightly.
So if he does pass it, it would be to Judgment Day, who I have seen jam, so
yes,
quite capable.
Wombo Combo going to call it off. 4 points, Austin. We're going to have another lead change going back to Austin. Now 48-45. Yeah, the other jammer didn't get through the pack, but Wombo decided to call it off.
Yep, and it takes us to the 9.5-minute mark of our first period. I started to think that I heard a timeout being called, but it was just a fan whistling.
They're very excited here in Denver. Or, I guess this is Lakewood. So
this is Lakewood,
greater
technically.
Denver area.
Western suburb of Denver. This is actually the town where my family lived when we first moved to Colorado, these many moons ago.
Stelly is through. Lead jammer for Denver, now looking to take that lead back.
With the star for Austin, it's Il Nino who has removed said star.
And Stelly over the apex. That's a way to take the lead back. So now 49-48 with Stelly coming back in the pack. El Nino still has not completed the initial pass, dropping the star.
If he did pass it, it would be to 99 sparks for Austin.
4 points for Stelly after getting past those 3 Austin blockers at the front. Party McFly will be heading to the penalty box.
There is the star pass to Sparks.
See the Doc and T-Rex at the front of the pack. And a devastating opening block by Minu, opening a hole for his brother to pick up 4 more points.
That is now the tall jam of the game at 12 points.
Yeah, so we've seen a lot of low-scoring jams here. This is the first double digit. So we're now, that's some momentum, and Denver now has their largest lead at 9.
Exactly.
Let's see if they can carry that.
Taking the star for the first time in this game is number 77, Cotton for Denver.
That is actually Ferguson. He came around the long way. I thought so, too, and then I went, there's Troy.
Sneaky.
And Sharknado for Austin. Sharknado gets pushed back. Good blocking there.
Lead jammer is Ferguson.
That was Judgment Day with the block.
That's the second time that Ferguson has gotten lead in the game.
Sharknado out of the pack. But there's Ferguson inside the pack on a scoring pass. Moving to the inside. Gets past the final blocker, Ezra Pound. 4 points, calls it off.
A little more with a little more alacrity this time, which is not a bad thing.
Yeah, I think he learned from the last time, which is usually good.
Yes.
Even when you do something well, you still want to learn.
That takes us to a 13-point lead now for Denver.
I used to have a coworker that said every mistake is a learning opportunity, or there are no mistakes, there are only learning opportunities.
Sounds like a good philosophy.
He made a lot of mistakes. It is Sparrow. That is T-Rex. Yeah, T-Rex with the star. So it's T-Rex jamming a little more than we saw at NAQ, but
Okay.
you gotta switch it up, especially against a team that you've played recently.
Called on a track cut, though, and so that it does not work out for Austin.
Sometimes it pays off, sometimes it doesn't. Fortunately for Austin, their defense has held Sparrow back into this power jam, at least a few moments into it. Good block there at the front of the pack. That is Naked Alien now going one-on-one.
Broderick coming up to Linda Hip. A track cut now assessed to Sparrow. This will be a 2-minute jam.
Yeah, nobody wants lead, and I believe this is the first jam of the game that will be going 2 minutes.
By my count.
Yeah, we're already, 24, almost 25, or almost 24 minutes into it. Sorry, math is hard. So is time. But usually don't see that.
Well, by the principle of general relativity, time does move slightly more quickly up here at altitude.
Ooh. Now I learned something.
Immeasurably slowly.
I'm going to go back down to sea level.
Time slows when you're near a gravity well.
Time's flying by. The air is too thin.
Ooh, T-Rex back to the penalty box now.
Yeah, so now 2-on-1, or 2-in-1 jam. Sparrow is out there. Does not get pushed out by Naked Alien. Now going up against Party McFly at the front of the pack. The Doc with the assist. Sparrow going to have to go back.
Direction called on Rivera. That's going to shrink the Denver pack.
But a good block there by Sparks to the inside, forcing Sparrow back to the jam line.
Sparrow definitely looking to pass the star, but he's pushed out of bounds before he can do so. And only 14 seconds left on the jam clock. I don't think we're going to see anything more on this jam.
Yeah.
He's reaching out to Schneider. It's just not happening. And that's going to be time on the jam.
Yeah, sometimes, you'd think T-Rex, if he was passing the star with the little arms, that would be a problem. Sorry, dinosaur jokes. Yeah.
Well, up until about 6th grade, I wanted to be a paleontologist.
Oh, I was about 4th grade.
I could think of no nobler profession than digging up dinosaur bones.
It sounded fun, and then I was like, you have to learn that much science. Never mind.
That wasn't a problem for me. I did go on to study science, just back to astrophysics.
I just want to find the bones in the ground and say, ooh, look, a dinosaur. It's probably like a chicken leg or something.
Speaking of, chickens are dinosaurs. Speaking of dinosaurs, T-Rex does still hold the star for Austin in the penalty box. That gives Stelly time to get through with lead for Denver.
Which he does. T-Rex standing, so just a few moments remaining before he'll re-enter the track. Julia Jane anchoring the front of that Austin pack, anticipating Stelly, who's now inside the pack.
Stelly going to call it off?
No, Vicious.
No, continues to skate. And, this is T-Rex's initial, or...
Yeah, T-Rex just got back out there, so this is the T-Rex initial, going into one of his own blockers. But now Stelly going to the penalty box for a low block, so we're going to again go the full 2 minutes, and just as T-Rex gets out of the pack, Denver also one blocker down. That is Judgment Day.
So this is going to be the first points for Austin in 5 jams. I bet they're happy about that.
Yeah, but it's not like in those 5 jams. Excuse me. I was thinking the opposite way. Never mind. Denver did that. It's early.
Yes.
We got a long time.
It is early in the day. It is 9:30 in the morning, Mountain Daylight Time. Thank you for joining us on 5-on-5 coverage of the MRDA Championship.
Just lower your expectations.
The theme.
Hashtag lowered expectations.
Theme for the announcer crew, at least, this weekend.
Who's that announcer?
Some guy.
I don't know.
I think he's got a mustache.
Cecil B. Puff Daddy. And 4 points on the board. Stelly, that's 8 points now for Denver on the jam, bringing it up to 69-48. Approaching, does a good spin move that confuses and knocks down Vicious, but unfortunately
another low block.
Yes, draws the low block on Vicious. Yeah, Stelly looks a little confused there, but that's what the ref saw, so that's the call.
Yeah. T-Rex still pushing on his first scoring pass, so he's definitely got points, and we'll see them in 2 seconds as the jam ends.
2 points. There you go.
Well, those two were for Stelly.
Oh, those two are for, yeah, right. Colors.
So that's a total of 10 for Denver on the jam.
And we'll see what Austin gets. Looks like they're going to confer. 3 points.
All right.
So 10-3 on the jam. Now 71-51, 20 points. I believe that is Denver's largest lead of the game.
Yes, absolutely. And it's actually, I think, the largest lead overall in the game since Austin had only made it to 18 points before Denver scored.
Yes. So, kind of like what we thought. It's going to be a close game. It's been pretty close so far. For those of you just tuning in, you're a little newer to roller derby. 20 points is really not that much. That is one good power jam away from flipping the score.
So, is it an official review being called?
I believe.
No, it's a team timeout
timeout,
by Denver.
Yes. We have a few skaters in between us and our jam timer, so sometimes we rely on our producers.
I see. They're calling their official review as a timeout.
They want a cheeseburger during the timeout. That's what it's for. Got it.
No, it is perfectly legal to use your official review as a timeout, and so we should see a second timeout going back on Denver's. There it is. Yeah, I do operate the scoreboard sometimes, so I'm attuned to such things.
Well, with 2 minutes left, it's a good idea. You don't know if you're going to use it. You're going to get it back in the second half anyway. So maybe you get a couple more jams, and now you have a few extra timeouts to play with. By
happenstance, the timeout was called with exactly 2 minutes on the clock, so we can pretend it was the 2-minute warning.
And they still have 2 other timeouts on the clock. So, okay, interesting strategy. Not something you see every day, but probably, with just 2 minutes left, probably not something that's going to come back to bite them. Then again, curse the announcer. Sorry, Denver. My bad.
So, Stelly's starting in the box for Denver. It's number 303, Il Nino, who's really been working hard out there this first period.
He gets pushed out by Minu or other Stelly.
We usually just say Jordan.
Or Jordan Stelly, yeah. Well, they both start with J.
Yes. Yeah, you can't even do the J Stelly thing.
Yeah, exactly. You need to spell the whole thing out. So there's Justin Stelly back out there, moving inside, outside, living La Vida Loca, and picking up lead jammer from the box.
So not only is it 2 leads in a row for Denver, it's 2 leads in a row for Stelly.
Oh, great hit there by Alchemist Prime. Hector Rivera, as the star was past the Naked Alien to slow him down, but is able to stay in bounds. Stelly through 4 points, Denver. The time
does call it now as Naked Alien approaches the pack.
Smart move.
51-75.
24-point difference. Just under a minute remaining here in the first half. We've got Wombo Combo with the star for Austin.
And taking the star for Denver is going to be Ferguson.
You always know if the jammer's not on the jam line, they're coming around the long way. Yep. It's probably Ferguson. Oh, look at that. He's being friendly and giving Wombo a hug and say, hey, your cover is a little loose on your helmet there. But Wombo, I don't know if he didn't believe him or not because he didn't really do much to it. Hopefully for Wombo, it doesn't fall off.
So this is very likely to be the final jam of the first period.
Curse of the announcer, 10 more jams. Good block there, slowing him down from number 8, Hunter. All right.
Well, it's actually, once again, number 132, Ezra Pound, dragging Ferguson back. He's really good at that.
Yes. All the way back now behind the pivot line, and Wombo Combo will get lead jammer. You gotta love it when that happens at the same time that the jammer gets lead. It's like, oh, that's convenient. Oh, and a good block there by Naked Alien on to Ferguson. Good move there by Wombo Combo, but has to get to the last blocker, Judgment Day. And he was judged.
Yes. And found wanting. Calling it off. That's going to be, I think I see 2.
Yeah, 2 points.
3. It is 3.
3 points. That thumb was sneaking there. So those are going to be the final points of the first half. 75-54 is our score. Denver on top to start this rematch of NAQ.
Yeah, and this was started off looking like it was going to be all Austin with the 6 consecutive leads and scoreless jams for Denver, but Denver says, nuh-uh.
Well, I can't confirm that the high altitude has been a factor, but what I can confirm has been a factor has been Justin Stelly.
Yes,
who's doing a great job and showing the difference that, a great player can make on a team, but also got to give all the credit to Denver's blockers and not letting themselves get down when they were down first. Your teams can get mentally down when that happens.
I've seen it happen. But I've also seen nearly 100-point comebacks in the second period.
Absolutely. So. And fortunately for Austin, they only have a 21-point difference, so plenty of time, and we will see what happens in the second half. I'm Champ Unkind.
I am Brett Example.
We'll be back shortly. Welcome back to the 2019 MRDA Championships here in Denver, Colorado. I'm Champ Unkind.
I'm Brad Example, also known as Mark Bradford.
And we are about to start the second half of Denver and Austin. That rematch everybody's been waiting for from NAQ, now looking a little bit differently with Denver on top. A couple stats to throw out there. The high-scoring jammers from Austin, Wombo Combo with 19 points and El Nino with 18. Denver a little bit more lopsided.
A little bit.
With Stelly having 56 of the 75 points. So Stelly alone scoring more than Austin's entire team.
And that is probably a large part of the difference here because the lead calls are very evenly divided, with 11 having gone to Austin 12 to Austin, 11 to Denver.
Yeah, so even with that lead advantage, Justin Stelly, such a great jammer, seeing the effect he has had on this game. Again, he was not at NAQ. He is very obviously here right now.
And in fact, on the jammer line, squaring off against number 35, Sharknado for Austin.
Yeah, and Sharknado, again, once was the MVP jammer of NAQ, so a very important jammer out there for Austin. And obviously a factor himself, although he is not one of the two highest scoring jammers. You know, well, Austin's doing it more as a team.
Yeah, and he did get two of the lead calls during that huge run of 6 leads in a row that started the game.
And not to say that Denver's not doing it. They obviously are. You know, you need good blocking. So you can have the best jammer in the world, and if you don't have good blocking, they're still not going to get through enough.
Case in point.
Yes.
It is Sharknado that is through for lead in this jam.
Yeah, still a very good jammer, but good moves there to the outside, getting past number 1984, William Crunchy. And it is going to be a track cut on Stelly, so now a power jam for Austin to start off the second half. Remember, Austin did start the first half off with an 18-0 run.
Yes.
And then Denver came roaring back like the dinosaurs they find in the ground. And at my hotel. Yes, I'm at the Dinosaur Hotel.
Nice. There's a place near here in Lakewood where it's called Dinosaur Ridge. You can see dinosaur footprints.
I love dinosaurs. There is 4 points for Sharknado. Now up to 8 on the jam.
Stelly is standing in the box, about to get back onto the track.
Moving in behind the pack. This is now exited the box. El Nino sees Stelly. He'll get another 2. Stelly still did not have the initial pass, but he's going to call it off anyway. So that should bring it up to 10 points on the jam, I believe.
So that right there, likely, it basically cuts Denver's lead in half at a single stroke. So,
well, scoreboards, there we go. Okay, so 75-64, 28.5 remaining in this game. The winner will go on to play tonight.
Meanwhile, it's Il Nino versus Ferguson on the jammer line.
Yeah, winner plays tonight, loser plays tomorrow. The consolation game. Yeah, the winner goes on to play St. Louis at 5, so that's a prize.
Lead jammer is Il Nino on this one, so 2 consecutive lead calls to start the period for Austin.
Yeah, starting that second half the way they started the first. But let's see how Denver responds. You got to give Denver some time here to... Oh, and look, a forearm on Il Nino, so it is going to be a power jam now for Denver, and we're going to go the full 2 minutes.
2-minute jam, the second lost lead call of the game.
Yes. Judgment Day back out there now for Denver. Only one player in the box. That is the jammer for Austin, El Nino. Ferguson, nice move to the inside, getting past one blocker. Moving to the outside, past Doc, and we'll pick up 4 points for Denver. El Nino is standing, so should be back out there shortly.
The scoreboard is indicating Spicy as the jammer for Denver. That is incorrect. That is definitely Ferguson.
Yes, Ferguson moving inside, gets blocked, now moves outside, gets past Party McFly. Sparks trying to push him outside, but Ferguson, very slippery, able to get away.
El Nino out of the penalty box.
Oh!
Ooh, both blocker and jammer going out there, but it results in a cut call on El Nino.
Yeah, and
extending the power jam.
So now 2 power jams in 1. That was a great block by Jordan Stelly. So Justin with the offense and Jordan with the defense. And Mom back home is proud. We know she was watching NAQ, so I assume she's watching this.
Hi, Mom.
And
Ferguson squeezing to the inside line to complete a 4-point pass. That takes him to 14 on the jam.
Yeah, Clarissa explained it all.
Little hand slap there between the jammers as El Nino did make it back onto the track before the end of the jam.
So it does look like it's actually 12 points for Denver on the jam, 4 for Austin. So now 87-68, 19 points separating them. So Austin has caught up a little bit here in the second half, but not really that much.
Just under 26 minutes to play.
Stelly and Wombo combo will be our jammers.
Stelly continuing the trend of coming out every other jam.
One to the inside, one to the outside. Now they switch positions with Stelly on the outside, now moving inside. Able to keep his feet in bounds. After a good hit by Naked Alien, but those feet of Stelly moving like they move and getting lead.
Squeezing past Joliet Jane.
And that time getting past Ezra Pound.
Well, now it's number 818 Vicious to the penalty box from the Austin pack.
Wombo Combo took off the star, but does get through. And Stelly with some defensive jamming, sending Wombo Combo spinning around like a jellyfish in a bubble.
Stelly does not call it off.
No, he does not.
Both jammers back into the pack for points.
Now, Naked Alien and Joliet Jane at the front of the pack. We're able to knock him down, slow him up. He will get 2. Let's see.
4 more for Stelly.
Yeah, he gets 4. I'm sorry, Austin gets 2. The ref has a little white patch on the wrist guard above the black wristband. So it's a little confusing there, but
Stelly very cautiously calling it off from the floor there before standing up, not wanting to risk a track cutting call.
Smart move. Always a wise decision.
So at 95-70, back to a 25-point lead for Denver. I think that exceeds their 24-point lead at the end of the first period.
So it is going to be Go Lightly and Sharknado, and Go Lightly, Go Outside goes down, but goes back up.
And goes through the pack and gets lead.
Lightly. Vicious back out there. Vicious with a name that skater hit.
Actually, I just heard a word on a podcast this morning. The word aptronym, a particularly apt name. So that would be an aptronym.
I learned something now. That'll be my one thing for the year. There we go.
2 points collected by Go Lightly, calling off the jam. It is 70-97. Advantage home team, 23.5 to play.
It is going to be El Nino and Sparrow with the stars.
Sparrow's first turn with a star this period. An official timeout stops the clock at 23 minutes and 34 seconds.
And that is going to give us a moment to talk to you about Moonshine Company. Moonshine shorts are designed, handmade, and operated by single moms out of San Luis Obispo of the Central Coast of California, with fabrics made in the USA. Moonshine now also carries men's shorts in 3 different lengths, in addition to our shorts and capris for women and children. You can make your moonshine with Moonshine shorts at www.makeyourmoonshine.com and at derbywarehouse.com.
Two-stop shopping.
And the operator, her name is Moonshine as well.
Ah, there you go.
Met her at RollerCon. She announces sometimes. It is going to be Stelly and El Nino when we get back to the action in now. Justin Stelly moving to the outside. El Nino unable to stay inside, a little bit too inside. Justin Stelly up the middle and lead jammer Denver.
That's 3 lead calls in a row for Denver.
He's on fire.
Originally, Sparrow had come out with a star, but since the timeout gave Stelly a chance to catch his breath, I think they went back to him.
And El Nino with a track cut. Oh, and a track cut on Stelly, too. So we're going to have a very quick power jam, or a very quick moment with no jammers out there. So, bathroom break.
But it does give us another 2-minute jam. This is the third lost lead of the game by my count, and 2 of those were by Stelly.
And I believe also the second of the second half.
Second of the second half, yes.
See, I remember things.
And
Stelly sits back down again. So now he's going to have to serve 30 seconds. He is not happy about it.
Yeah.
I mean, who would be?
Well, the very deadly thing also would be if that penalty count ticks up to 7 for Stelly, he'll foul out of the game, and that would not be good for Denver.
Well, Naked Alien has the star as the star was passed from El Nino to Naked Alien, now going up against Rivera at the front. Finally breaks away. Now we have a jammer able to score points and a low block on Rivera. So
I think it was direction.
Or direction, excuse me. Yeah, you're right. On Rivera, so he will go to the box. 2 blockers in the box for Denver. Stelly is back out there, though.
4 points collected by Naked Alien. 23 seconds remain on the jam clock.
Now El Nino will go back to the penalty box, but again, he is not the jammer. Ezra Pound with a good block on Stelly, pushing him back between the jam and pivot line. And another 4 points, Naked Alien.
I saw Stelly messing with his mouth guard as though things were not working well for him.
It looked like he may have gotten hit there, and he was adjusting it. That's why you wear your mouth guard.
So, as time expires on the jam, Stelly finally through the pack and eligible to score, but will not earn any points on this jam.
Speaking of mouth guards, talk about Sisu. Sisu, breathe, talk, drink, more protection, less mouth guard. Sisu.
So, 2 seconds being added to the clock. That'll take it to 21 minutes and 28 seconds.
Yeah, we are in another timeout.
This one called by Austin.
Yeah, so Death and Glory Skate Shop is deathandgloryskateshop.com is a new quad shop and gear website bringing more fun to Colorado and all of North America.
That's ambitious.
Death and Glory have years of boot fitting experience and offer a fun relational experience every time. Check them out at deathandgloryskate.com.
We see Sparrow out there poised to jam in the next jam for Denver. That'll be his first jam of the period.
And you might be able to hear our fantastic cohorts on the house. That would be Bobby Narco and Loose Change. But they're over yonder.
I always wondered where yonder was.
Yonder is there.
Number
Not
35,
far.
Sharknado takes the star for Austin.
Going up against Sparrow. And Sharknado through the pack. Lead jammer Austin. Is that momentum starting to swing back in their favor? We'll find out. We got 21 minutes left. And there goes Sparrow completing his initial. Good block there by number 8 of Denver, Hunter. As El Nino out there as a blocker because he had to return from the box to open up the hole, but comes to a close. 4 points, Austin on the jam, now 11 points separating the teams.
Still 20 minutes to play, and it's going to be Ferguson taking the star this time out.
And this is the kind of game you'd expect from the teams that are ranked closest in this tournament, the 8 seed and the 9 seed. And the prize, of course, is you get to go play St. Louis next. That's always fun if that's what you're into. I don't know. Personally, I wouldn't. The gatekeepers are so good, you know. They're just, a 4-time champion. That's a challenge.
They play very physically as well.
They do, and they have some good, very large hitting blockers. And, I mean, yes, they do have some injuries this year, but they're still the St. Louis gatekeepers. If there's any team that could, get hurt or have a bunch of retirements and you'd expect them to recover without a step, it's St. Louis.
Yep.
And we're going to see
one of the powerhouses in the MRDA.
Exactly. And the winner of our next game gets to go play Magic City, who's that team that's kind of, a lot of people saying maybe it's their year to take over. We'll find out. That's what tournaments are for. That's why you play the game. I was having a conversation with one of the players on I'm not going to say who or which team he was from, but he was saying he honestly believes there are 8 teams here that legitimately have a shot to place.
Wow.
And he says even the other 2, would not be surprised if they could sneak in there because, maybe there is something they don't know.
Right.
But he's like, this is a year where you really feel like the MRDA there's a lot more opportunity. But then again, St. Louis is still St. Louis, and you can never count them out no matter what. They practice so hard, they're so good. But we still have this game to get through, and it is Ferguson and Wombo Combo on the track. And it is Ferguson through first, lead jammer Denver.
Ferguson's second jam of the period, the first one he's managed to get a lead. He's already in the pack for points, so making good use of that. Strong blocking anchored by Rivera at the top of the pack is containing Wombo Combo.
And there's Jordan Stelly. Yeah, there you go. Ferguson through, 4 points, adding back to that Denver lead, and they will be the first team to cross the century mark now.
Yeah, Jordan definitely laying out the strong shoulder checks on defense.
Yeah, Justin with some great jumps and jukes and whatnot, jamming, and Jordan with some great blocking. Again, Jordan Stelly trying to open the hole to eliminate some offensive blocking from Vicious.
We've just seen the star pass to number 818 Vicious for Austin.
Yeah, that was very sneaky there from Wombo.
Yeah.
Good. Nope, never mind. Troy Ferguson moves too far to the side. Has to recycle.
But he is on a 4th scoring run in this jam.
Yeah, already 12, trying to give him, he wants another 4 so he can have the high-scoring jam. So we can say, yes, Stella, you might have all those points, but I have the high-scoring jam. Good blocking there, though, by Joliet Jane, Ezra Pound, and Spank.
There's the 4 for Ferguson.
So he will have that high-scoring
He's
jam.
waiting. He does not call it.
Wait for it. Yeah, Vicious in that pack.
Well, looks like he's going to grab a few more points.
Yeah, good block there again by Jordan Stelly on Vicious.
There's only 10 seconds left on the jam clock, so we're done soon here.
Well, let's see what he can do. It looks like he may have passed one blocker. He sees that clock. He's meerkatting out from the pack. So he will get another 3. So 3-3 on that final pass. So 19-3 on the jam now. 116-89 as we're approaching that 18-minute mark.
So that's a 27-point differential. That's,
I believe, ties the highest scoring or highest differential so far.
So far.
Still got 18 minutes. It's going to be Go Lightly and Naked Alien, which sounds like a sentence.
Something to do with
that was not a command.
something to do with the Area 51 raid.
There you go. No, I believe that's Go Naruto Run. Naked Alien.
Well, you will note that Naked Alien's number is 51.
Oh,
so.
oh, yeah, that makes sense. Wonder if he was there to try to storm it. I heard that was not very successful.
I wouldn't have imagined it to be.
Usually trying to go up against the U.S. government near an air base or military base is, but not recommended. But it is recommended that Austin get a lead jammer, and that's what they do right now with Naked Alien.
Go Lightly now through the pack and clear to score. A track cut called on Sparks, which is Austin's pivot this time out.
Yeah, T-Rex and Sparks were the last 2 blockers for Austin. And there's Go Lightly through the pack, so 4 points Denver and 2 points Austin.
Yeah, so Denver's stealing some points.
Yeah. So Naked Alien took a risk. Sometimes it doesn't pay off.
That takes us just past the 17-minute mark remaining. Nobody's called timeout, but I'm seeing, well, I guess, very few skaters on the track. There we go. That's more like it.
Yes. And there one blocker in the box for each team, so 3-3 pack. Stelly and El Nino are the jammers for our teams.
We have seen this matchup before.
I think we've seen most of them already.
Yeah.
And there is El Nino moving to the inside, almost like a Stelly move, and he gets lead jammer.
It's 2 consecutive leads for Austin. Last time this happened, Stelly was penalized, not this time.
Well, this time Stelly's penalized, but it's the other Stelly. It's Jordan Stelly heading the penalty box. So 4 points Austin. I don't see no points Denver. So now 95 to 120. Denver remaining on top with a 25-point lead.
Yeah, El Nino definitely got that called off before Stelly got into the pack.
So Go Lightly and Sharknado will be the next jammers, as there are 2 Denver blockers in the box. So 4-2 pack advantage in favor of Austin.
Yeah, Williams is standing, so he'll be back on the track shortly. It's going to take a little longer for Jordan Stelly to get out.
Yeah. Good moves there by Sharknado, but those 2 blockers for Denver at the front of the pack, I believe that is Judgment Day and Cotton doing some great blocking. Williams now back out there as well. And it is lead jammer Austin.
That's 3 in a row.
3 in a row, yeah, and it took about a little over 30 seconds off the clock. Good moves there. Gets past the opposing jammer. Now inside to the front of the pack. Going outside. And another 4 for Austin. First 4 of the jam as the box has emptied.
They keep the jam going. They are about to tick into the century territory.
But we do have 2 Austin blockers heading to the penalty box. That is Doc and T-Rex.
That allows Go Lightly to get through and clear the score for Denver.
Oh, and
a track cut.
Yeah, and just as Sharknado was trying to call off the jam, too. So now a full Austin box and 4 points on the board. Denver, so tying the scoring on the jam and already back in the pack going up against Hardy McFly. And guess what? Denver now is the lead on the jam.
Just about 45 seconds remaining on the jam clock. That will be enough time for Sharknado to get it back on the track.
Good moves there, moving to the outside as Jordan Stelly also assists with a block against Sparks.
Very quick scoring passes by Go Lightly here.
I guess he's going lightly.
Nice one. Yes.
Some skaters live up to it. So now 16, and he's looking at Ferguson's record and going, now it's mine. Maybe. I don't know. Austin's not going to let it happen very easily.
A track cut called on Sharknado.
So that'll be now 2 power jams for Denver. Now with 37 points a differential. Let's change that.
And that's time on the jam. With wound up being 3 points for Austin.
Yeah. So 20-4.
I don't know why.
20-7.
Yeah, because those 3 points added onto the 4, and they do break into triple digits.
Yeah, and power start now with Justin Stelly on the jam line. So, but no. Fortunately for Austin, they have all their blockers out there. I see Vicious, Naked Alien, Juliet Jane, and Ezra Pound. And Stelly moves to the inside on 1 foot and just so smooth. That was such a smooth move. And that wasn't Ferguson.
Yes. So, scoring pass now for Stelly. He's getting bumped into the outfield and having to recycle.
That was a good hit by Naked Alien. Now recycling.
A full quad. It was almost a square there of blockers for Austin at the top of the pack. But
the power jam is over. Sharknado back out there. Star in hand.
Multiplayer called on Cruz, I believe. Yes.
Yes. So it looked like for a second he was thinking about passing Naked Alien. Naked Alien was on the opposite side of the track, and he just keeps it for himself. But Star remains in hand. Stelly's just going to call it off after picking up another 4 points. Gets pushed back, has to recycle. Why not just call it off?
It does manage to hold Austin at 102, so now this is a 42-point game.
Well, and another thing, we didn't talk about this beforehand, another factor of maybe why Denver is now so far out ahead. We talked about the endurance here at this altitude. Denver also has a deeper jammer rotation. Austin has thrown a couple other players out there, but, we saw it at NAQ, how deep that rotation is for Denver. And that lets your jammers stay fresh.
That applies to Denver's women's teams as well. They've always had a really deep jammer bench.
And sometimes it's players, that don't want to jam anymore, but they still are really good at it, so they practice it. And they'll still do it. You can throw them in every 4
Or they'll go out as a pivot.
Exactly. Or maybe you have the strategy of to do the star pass just initially, off a powered start or whatever. But we've seen how that, I think that is one of the things that is really helping. Even though, Justin Stelly obviously helping out, you want to keep all of your jammers fresh.
El Nino is through the pack now. Lead jammer calls it off just as Sparrow was approaching the pack.
So that will bring it up to 144-106. 11 minutes remaining in the first game of this tournament. Remember, coming up next, we do have the Common Quads and Golden State. And if you haven't seen either of these two teams play, you are in for a treat.
So Austin calls their third and final team timeout with 10 minutes and 56 remaining in the game.
Yeah, now would be the time. But they still do have the official review, which they can either use as an official review or as a timeout.
So they can stop the clock one more time, possibly two. If they do use it as an official review and win that review, then they'll get it back.
Yes.
But that is shall we say, not the norm.
But this is also roller derby, so it wouldn't surprise me if Denver just uses one. I don't understand that strategy, but apparently it's a strategy that's been going on for the 9 years I've been announcing roller derby, and I still can't figure it out.
I want to take the opportunity to thank 5on5 Media, who are bringing you this broadcast today. They are dedicated to women's flat track derby and offer practical advice to skaters to help with their business as well as their skills. They also keep them up to date on what's happening in the derby world. Each quarterly issue covers such topics as business, health and fitness, games and coaching, rookie help, gear, international derby, and more. Pick up your digital or print subscription today to gain access to over a decade of archived issues and use... I don't know if this discount... No. So, yeah, go to 5on5media.com and check out 5on5.
It's very convenient when we have a member of 5on5 sitting with us to confirm everything. And we, of course, like to thank them for bringing this broadcast. And, of course, Denver Ground Control for hosting and helping as well. And it is Ferguson, Lee Jammer... For Denver, and
in a power
alien.
jam.
Yeah, Naked Alien heading to penalty area 51. So 4 points on the board. Smooth move, Ferguson.
By my count, that's at least 5 jammer penalties for Austin in this period.
Yes. Which has helped Denver.
6, says Sonia, and I believe her.
Thank you, Sonia. That's why she's here.
A quick couple extra points called by Denver and then calling it off, icing Naked Alien in the penalty box with just over 10 minutes.
So 6-0, 150 to 106. The final 10 minutes.
Star goes to Stelly for Denver.
Again, the winner will go on to face St. Louis at a 5 o'clock game. That's 5 o'clock Mountain Time. The loser will go on to play the 9 a.m. game tomorrow against the loser of the 5th game of the tournament, which would be... I'll figure that out. So,
I'll try to remember to print out some brackets tonight.
Yeah. We have one. We'll get to it.
Lee Jammer is Stelly as of this moment.
I was actually looking at one. I didn't want to admit it, but I was looking at brackets, still trying to figure it out. So it is Stelly juking and jiving and into the pack and over a blocker. The dock. Naked Alien with a high block.
Oh, man.
So it is going to be another power jam now in favor of Denver. Jam comes to a close. They will get 4 points.
So that's 2 penalties for Naked Alien just in the last 2 jams.
It looks like they are recalling the penalty, so it will not be a power start.
Then I will scribble out that little note that I just made.
Apologies all around.
However, we have seen Austin stuck at 106 points for the last 3 jams.
And it looks like we have a foul out. Maybe it looks like Alchemist Prime, Hector Rivera. He has been replaced in the box, so he may have committed his 7th.
Yes, Spicy is sitting in Hector's place.
As El Nino gets through, Lee Jammer Austin with under 8.5 remaining. And a forearm on Stelly, so it is going to be a power jam now in favor of Austin. Yes, Denver has been on a scoring run. Momentum's been in their favor, but Brad, you've been around a while. Yes. I've been around a while. Sonia, you've been around a while. I think we've seen 44-point comebacks within 8 minutes.
Oh, definitely.
At least once in our careers. So Austin still plenty of time remaining on the board for them. 8 points now total for El Nino on the jam.
Well, and as we were observing earlier, Stelly has been to the box quite a few times. If he fouls out, it is bad news for Denver.
Yes. But, I mean, then the pressure gets a little bit more on their defense.
Yes. Well, and also, as we were discussing, Denver does have a deep jammer bench. It's
Absolutely.
not like they would be incapacitated without Stelly.
Absolutely.
But
and
at the same time,
he's
performing very well in this game.
Exactly. And with this much of a lead, that still is such a factor because at this point, when they played at NAQ, Denver was down.
Sonia has counted that we have 4 penalties for Stelly in this half, and
yeah. I mean, you don't want to go more than 3.5.
All right, jam ends there.
Another 2 points for Austin now, 14-0 on the jam, closing in a little bit, 34-point difference.
6.
So Stelly now at 6, so they have to be very careful with him. But under 7 minutes remaining, good chance of fouling out because you only have one more opportunity, but your team is also, defense has been playing well. You got other jammers playing well. We'll see what the coaches decide to do. They know better than we do.
Denver gives the start to Go Lightly. Austin gives it to Sharknado. Go Lightly pushing at the top of the pack. Only one to beat. And in fact, that was
Naked
Alien.
Who gets sent to the penalty box. So now 2 blockers in the box, I believe. Naked Alien there with Party McFly. Sharknado has to recycle all the way back into turn 2.
Go Lightly on a scoring pass, but bumped into the infield and recycles as well.
Jordan Stelly's been doing such a great job, maybe not always knocking them out or knocking them down, but at least slowing them as they get in the pack to the point where the rest of the pack can contain that jammer.
This was a good defensive block by Schneider just now, pushing Sharknado into the infield.
Well, Schneider, of note, because we talked about how Sharknado is the MVP jammer of NAQ, Schneider was the MVP blocker of NAQ. So, a rematch
of the MVPs.
Yes. That we just saw 2 months ago.
Go Lightly had a chance to get through for an additional 4 points, 8 on the jam so far. We have seen now the star pass to a Naked Alien as he's back in from the penalty box.
And just as Vicious comes back to the pack and the Austin penalty box empties, it is called off.
2 final points on the jam, total of 10 for Denver.
120-164, Denver remaining on top as we approach that 5-minute mark. It's going to be El Nino and Ferguson. Looks like 3 points. Looks like another 3 that are not on the board yet.
Or correcting the final pass to 3. Yes, that's what it was.
So now 165, 120. Ferguson moved to the inside, gets in. That is 1 blocker to beat. That is Doc with a good hit, and it allows El Nino to get through and get lead jammer.
Ferguson is well about a quarter turn behind.
Everybody anticipating the jammer is coming to the pack, and it is called off.
A single point for Austin.
1 is the loneliest little point. I'm sorry, 2 points. Oh, I got a friend. No, back to 1. 1, 2, 1, 2.
And through, the Vorpal Blade went snicker-snack. He left it dead, and with its head he went galumphing back.
I don't know that reference, but...
It's Jabberwocky from Through the Looking Glass.
I'm a millennial.
I am a little bit older than that.
It is Wombo Combo, and Justin Stelly. Remember, Stelly has 6 penalties, so has to play a little careful here, but there are 4 minutes remaining with a 44-point lead.
Yeah, 4 minutes, you got definitely 2 jams, possibly 3 or 4.
Oh.
Wombo Combo.
A jammer. Stelly running into some blockers. That was Doc that was initially slowing him down to the back of the pack. Naked Alien and Vicious with some assisting.
Stelly runs up the inside line to get through. Wombo Combo into the pack for points. Calls it again. It's a single point.
Yeah, he got pushed in, and he knows what's happening when Justin Stelly's approaching the pack. You call it off.
So Denver has been held at 165 for the last 3 jams, but Austin unable to really capitalize and close the gap by more than a couple of points.
And that all that does at this point, with as we're approaching 3 minutes remaining, all that does is help Denver.
Yeah.
And this isn't a game where the rankings really are a factor. You're not trying to play for rankings to.
You just want to win the game.
Yeah, you're not trying to build up a lead. You win, you move on, and that helps your rankings because really at the end of the season, that's how it's calculated, is based on your final standings here, rather than a system that has a computer.
Ferguson through and lead for Denver.
Hey, when a winner wins a tournament, they're ranked number 1? What? That's how does that work? I mean, roller derby.
Well,
isn't a computer supposed to tell us who's best?
It doesn't necessarily work that way in tennis or golf. So
true, that's true. But in sports, you're supposed to win on the track.
Yes, that is
not a computer. So, Ferguson moving to the outside.
Second scoring pass so far. The clock is definitely on the side of Denver at this point.
Yes, it is. Very much so.
Track cutting being signaled.
And a track cut, on Ferguson. So it is going to be a power jam for Denver.
So Denver actually doesn't object that this is going to go the full 10 minutes.
They're like, we were probably going to do that anyway.
Star pass to Sparks of Austin.
Sparks going up against Judgment Day on the re-entry to the pack. Able to stay on bounds on 1 foot. Stay in bounds again from another hit from Judgment Day. And he must have been found innocent.
So current blockers are Cotton and Day and, let's see, that is Spicy, a.k.a. Schiffer.
Yeah, some of them have their real names
Yes.
on the back, and it throws you off sometimes because they go by either or.
That is the case.
Another 4 points for Sparks. Or, I'm sorry, the first 4 points of the jam for Sparks.
Right, that matches the 4 that Ferguson had collected earlier.
Yes.
Ferguson would be on a second scoring pass now.
Yeah, he is out of the box. Currently, penalty box is empty.
Sent back
Never
into the box.
Curse to the announcer. Sorry, Ferguson, my bad.
I don't see the call, though.
I believe it was
Misconduct.
misconduct,
So,
yeah.
all right.
So 4 points for Sparks, and the jam comes to a close. So 8-4 on the jam, 169-130.
We're going to sneak 3 more points in there for Ferguson.
So it'll be 8-7. So really 1 point advantage, Austin. And with under a minute remaining,
Well, we know who the jammer is going to at least start for Denver, and that is Ferguson.
which will mean that Stelly probably will not foul out because he's had a heavy workload, but he also will not be jamming in the last jam most likely.
Correct. And okay, an official review is being called.
Called by, looks like Denver on the track cut.
Thank you, Sonia, for pointing out that the misconduct on Ferguson was for skating through the infield.
Well, you know, when you're up by 42 points with 39 seconds left, you totally need to use an official review on that. I'm being sarcastic.
Yes. Well,
I don't question strategy, except that.
Except when you do.
I don't know. I grew up watching other sports where they don't do that. They're like, let's just win and rest and relax and have some food and go to play the next game. And
on the plus side, it gives us time to thank derbymerch.com, who are making merch great again.
Yes.
We don't claim to be magicians, but we do claim to offer the coolest styles and the wildest products for your derby team. Cowbells? Yep. Water bottles? Yep. Jerseys? Duh. We have it all, and we'll get it to you fast. We are skater-owned and skater-operated. Need ideas? Hit us up. We'd love to help. derbymerch.com.
And 888, the certified sweat saver from 888 NYC. Fully certified, but with a better fit. Try it for yourself.
I don't want to save my sweat.
Yeah, neither do I. Not even Gary Sweat. There's my contracted 1 Gary Sweat reference per game.
All right, then.
Fill out your bingo cards. So again, 39 seconds left. Our next game is Golden State and the Comiquads. I know a lot of our North American friends that are watching me have not seen the Comiquads so much. Same with Golden State. They kind of showed up to April Angst. We didn't really know what to expect there. And wow, they can play. A lot of aged out juniors that have gone into MRDA, and they're young, they're fast, they're fun, and they have a good amount of experience there too from some of the older guys coming over from San Diego, from Drive-By, people that have been playing like Wyatt for a long time. So they're a good combination of experience and youth, and they're really fun to watch. And everybody, I really hope you stick around because I think you're going to have a real treat watching them if you haven't yet.
Stick around for that 5-on-5 media stream.
Yes.
We're going to be starting the final jam. It's almost certainly going to be the final jam of the game.
So it looks like
Alien.
And I'm assuming they lost the challenge. Sonia is confirming.
So they wanted a cut track called on Sparks, but that did not happen.
Yeah, it was not. So it was not to try to get Ferguson out of the box. It was to try to get Sparks out of there. Maybe for a little bit easier, but he's not out there on this last jam anyway.
Yep.
Naked Alien moving to the outside, gets past Broderick, and it is lead jammer Austin.
So the clock is controlled by Austin.
I would guess they're going to go the full 2 minutes unless there's a power jam, in which case they're forced to go the full 2 minutes anyway.
Yes.
And hey, bonus derby.
Ferguson through the pack and cleared a score for Denver.
Yeah, start in hand, will put it back on. Naked Alien through the pack, 4 points, first 4 of the jam.
So as we predicted, Naked Alien not calling it off, coming around for another scoring pass.
Naked Alien moving to the outside. Good moves. Went through that whole Denver pack to make that move from the inside to the outside. And 4 more points on the board for Austin.
It's paying off since Austin's pack is so far able to contain Ferguson.
Ferguson now doing some defensive jamming there. And both jammers will go down. That's what I call ground control.
I hear a whistle, but it's on Wombo Combo, the pivot.
Yes. 4 more points on the board for Denver. That was the first 4 of the jam for Ferguson. 8-4 currently. There is no more time left on the jam on the period clock, so we are strictly running on jam clock.
And that's down to 30 seconds.
Yeah. So I'm going to assume that Denver will win, but they want to get a few more points. Austin wants to see if they can make it a little bit closer.
Well, both jammers are looking a bit tired there, not moving with maximum velocity. Naked Alien taking a run. Penalty called on Schneider, perhaps for pack destruction.
Looks like 2 penalties.
Yes.
Unfortunately, there's 6 seconds left, so I don't think he'll have to serve 2 penalties.
Not in practice. It'll probably go on the paperwork.
No, he'll just have to sit there for an extra minute after the game ends. And there we go. Game comes to a conclusion, and we have a different outcome than what we did at the North American qualifier. I don't know if the altitude was the factor. I cannot confirm that. I am not a heart monitor, but I can confirm that Justin Stelly was definitely a factor in this game for Austin, or for Denver.
At the same time, I see a trace showing more lead calls in the second period for Austin than Denver. So the scoring gap, final score gap is what, 36 points.
36 points, right you are.
Pardon me. So that Denver did win the second period.
Yes, but I mean they won both, but they really won the second. That's where they really started to break away there from Austin.
So congratulations to the home team.
Yes, they will move on to play
Control.
St. Louis. Oh, that's gonna be that will actually be a pretty fun one. I'd like to see a lot of these Denver Jammers play against St. Louis's defense, because these Denver Jammers just move all over the place, and I do think it's going to be a fun game to watch.
Now you get your chance.
And now we get our chance.
And we would love for you to tune in as well. Here on 5 on 5 Media.
Yes, and don't forget the loser, Austin, in this game, will play first game tomorrow at 9 a.m. Mountain. That is 11 a.m. Eastern.
Yep.
Or, sorry, I don't know every single time zone in the world. But we'd like to thank you for joining us. Stick around, because it is the Comiquads and the Heat coming up next. The 7 and 10 seeds here at the 2019 MRDA Championships. I'm Champ Unkind.
And I'm Brett Example.
Have a decent day.
Are you dreaming of new roller skates? With over 10 years experience and knowledge, Skate Rat's Skate Shop will set you up with the safety gear and roller skates that are right for you. Visit Skate Rats in Loveland, Colorado for the selection you've been looking for and great customer service. Log on to skaterats.com for free fast shipping. Use discount code 5on5 for 10% off.
If you're looking for a reliable paint company that will do the job right the first time, then it's time to call 360 Painting of Arvada. Our #1 goal is to make sure we make your vision into reality, and we guarantee 100% satisfaction. We offer a wide variety of colors and textures that meet the needs of each room for every client, all for an affordable rate. With years of experience, our employees are well trained in the correct and professional methods, so there will be no hassle or headaches. Whether you're looking to just paint a couple rooms or you're looking to remodel your home, no job is too big or small for 360 Painting of Arvada to handle. For more information on our services, call us today or visit us online and let us help you turn your vision into a vibrant reality.